How to Be a Heartbreaker by Dominic. So I'm going to tell you what I believe is going to take for you to be a heartbreaker, and it depends on the kind of heartbreaker that you want to become. So I've created two general categories of heartbreakers that I think exist, and I've effectively named them the Hollywood heartbreaker and the determined heartbreaker. And so here's how it plays out. The Hollywood heartbreaker is pretty much the person that we all think about that, boy or girl, man or woman, doesn't really matter. They're just gorgeous. They walk around as if they're flawless and everybody wants to worship them, and the mere fact that they exist breaks your heart because most likely you feel like you can't have them, and so it's just heartbreaking that somebody like that exists, right? And so if you want to become that person, you got to think about honestly what it takes to actually be that person, and you got to think about all of the developmental stages and developmental processes that you have to put yourself through to actually become that kind of a heartbreaker. And just to kind of break it down for you, you got to work out, you got to get in a really, really, really good shape, you got to, smell good, look good, dress well. If you don't have a pretty looking face, most likely you might have to go get some cosmetic surgery or something, or fix the acne or whatever it may be, you know what I mean? But whatever the things are that aesthetically you would have to fix, you got to fix those things. And then there's the second part of becoming this Hollywood heartbreaker, which goes back to ancient Egypt. If you were to think about it, of how it was that those pharaohs and the kings and queens of ancient Egypt got their subjects and their people to believe that they were divine beings worthy of worship. So they actually believed that these people, these human beings, were gods. And so when you think about exactly what they did, the physical aspect of it, of whether or not they were physically good looking or physically attractive, was just one piece of it. And then obviously the money and the wealth is another piece of it. So if you have that, that's probably going to help you too. But the other piece, the bigger piece, was that they had access to knowledge, and they had access to things that could help them develop their intellect and their personality, their demeanor, and they simply knew that they were better because of the fact that they had all of those things. And so when they walked around, they looked like somebody you would want to worship. Or if you thought about what a god would look like, if a god was turned into a human being and came to you in human form, you would think that, okay, you know what, this could be a representation of what a god in human form would look like, because of the fact that they look good, they smell good, they're clean, all different kind of stuff, but they talk with all of this amazing knowledge and they know all of these great things. And to put like the cherry on top, if you're a compassionate king, or if you're a compassionate ruler, then you would love your subjects and you would actually show care and compassion towards them. And so they believe that you are a caring god that wants to take care of them, right? So that would be the Hollywood heartbreaker, which is the person that essentially everybody wants to worship and everybody loves, and you're just walking around breaking everybody's hearts. That's pretty much who you are. That's what your everyday life would be like. Then you have the determined heartbreaker, which, like the name says, they are dead set on breaking the heart of one person, one specific person that in their mind, in their world, deserves to have their heart shattered. And based on the advice of one of my close friends, I was going to share one of my own personal stories with you of what exactly I had to do to become that kind of a heartbreaker, to break somebody's heart. But quite honestly, I'm not comfortable enough to share that story with you guys. So what I will tell you is, if you want an example of what this looks like, of what the determined heartbreaker looks like, and typically they're not trying to be the person that ends up being the heartbreaker, it's just that the things that they do ends up breaking the heart of that person. So if you want to become that person, or if you want to be that person, there's two movies that I can recommend that you need to watch. One of them is 10 Things I Hate About You, with Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, and obviously everybody else that's in the movie. But Heath Ledger's character gets paid to take out Julia Stiles' character, but then they actually end up kind of falling for each other. And long story cut short, when she finds out that he was paid to do it, she hates him, heartbroken, and if he would not have pursued her after that, she would have been heartbroken, and that would have pretty much been it. And the second movie is Deliver Us from Eva with Gabrielle Union and LL Cool J. And it was pretty similar plot, except I think it was a little bit tougher because Gabrielle Union's character was just so hard to actually influence. And, you know, LL Cool J really had to reveal himself, be transparent, share many pieces of himself to finally get her to trust him and give her heart to him. And then eventually, you know, something happens and she finds out, and, you know, heartbroken. And again, if he would not have pursued her after that, she would have remained heartbroken. So if you want to legitimately break somebody's heart and actually hurt their feelings, and, you know, it's a really rough road. It's a tough road to take, and it's not going to be good. It's not going to end well either for you or for that person, because of the fact that in order for you to be able to break their heart, and in order for them to even trust you enough, in order for them to give you enough of themselves that you would have the power to break their heart, you would have to give up so much of yourself to that person that if you end up breaking their heart, you're essentially breaking your own heart, and you're getting rid of a piece of yourself if you were to actually hurt that person and get rid of them. So I would highly advise against it, but if it's something that you're so determined about, I think it's something you could pull off. Like I said, it's the determined heartbreaker. So that was how to become a heartbreaker, how to be a heartbreaker. My name is Dominic Daniels. Follow the channel, subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, I guess, if you want them to know, or not. And we'll see you in another video. Bye.